A dance that took this kind of energy, this kind of focus, this kind of discipline and pain, it's not a trendy dance. It's a warrior's dance. And even when you AWOL, it's still gonna affect you. Once your body has kissed the floor and you get over those bumps or those sprains, you can get over anything. Life will smack you around, just like the floor.
The official adventures of Second to None.
Arm to the teeth with neck-breaking ability beyond average, to say the least. Keep it moving in the main streets. Rock, short shot, never stop the body rock. Spinning back and forth, just as good, yeah.
Going out to the hardcore hip-hop. Of course we don't flip-flop.
Simply squash the competition. Step up and get deep into a submission.
Second to None.
Step up and test wide.
You little fags ain't prepared.
How you gonna know the real shit when your style's counterfeit?
I would say on the video right away to make official who's who.
You can't talk about Europe history without talking about Second to None. This is something I have learned.
You know, we hear about this legendary crew that's not often seen, but their reputation supersedes them as individuals.
You know, impressive with mad flavor, mad power, you know what I'm saying?
That's the warrior spirit, and you have to have that to hold something down.
They still had the flavour of the UK with the power that the UK had back in the day, and took it out to Europe.
Second to None brought in a really raw and rough original street style back into it.
Combos like that? What the hell is going on?
Second to None, man, they took it to a different level.
For myself, it was like, oh shit, what's happening now?
You ask most of them European crews, they'll tell you Second to None is the ones that they were looking at to beat.
Second to None, they really put down something for the new generation. A lot of power, incredible power. Power with style.
Yeah. It wasn't an anger, it was just like,
You gotta move the fuck out the way.
Just mad hype every time, you know what I mean?
Seeing these dudes flying around, you know, doing all these crazy, smooth, advanced spins and everything, it's just like, I was trying to climb on board like that, and it wasn't just me.
We were like, what the fuck? And then we found out the name was Second to None.
We already looked at them the same way we kind of looked at Rocksteady. Do you know what I'm saying? High level and with respect.
The style that you did doesn't really exist today too much in the competition era that much.
Just seeing like the variations from low to high, for me it just blew my mind and it was crazy.
Your style needs to be seen because it's not around no more.
Coming down to the question is asked, who and why and when, that's it. It's got to be Second to None.
The name still echoes in the right circles.
Hip-hop came to our shores in the early 80s as the new craze that was sweeping the States. It was energetic, fresh and colourful. And it came to us through the usual channels.
First time I saw breaking really was Rocksteady crew. You know, hey, the Rocksteady crew stuff, you know, and I saw Kuriaki do a windmill in that video and I just couldn't believe it. I was like, what is that? You know, it's incredible.
I mean, I'd started dancing early, doing robotics and stuff like that. Pop videos on TV and things like that. By 84, we were all kind of body popping and stuff.
So I seen a programme on BBC Two called The History of Hip Hop, and it just took my mind away, man. It just took me into a different dimension, you know. I was like hooked on it straight away. I was really hooked on it.
It spread across the country like wildfire, and crews started to spring up everywhere.
Products like Broken Glass, Smack 19,
B-Boys were good.
more the northern crews in my eyes.
Manchester Street Machine were absolutely amazing.
London All-Stars were cool as well, weren't they?
All-Stars were good, yeah.
The UK gradually developed a style of its own, and although hugely influenced by its New York roots, the onus was much more on power. And as cool as breaking was back then, this film is not about the golden days. It's about what happened afterwards when the fashion went out of it and breaking was forced underground, and how one crew from an unassuming town on the south coast of England continually kept breaking and carried the torch through the dark days. Only a handful of survivors remained worldwide. In England, it was second to none.
Back in Bournemouth in the early days in '84, there was a couple of crews. There was Shock City and South Style, or another one was Universal Rockers. There's basically like 3 crews.
It was in South Style with Clive and another guy called Martin who was a breaker, and later on John Junk.
We were Shock City breakers, me, Steve Kerr, Terry Shaw.
From the Universal Rockers, there was only me and Asa.
In about '85.
Spring '85, I'd say.
A few people decided to make another crew out of the best elements of all those other crews.
We chose Tony.
I was popping heavily then, but I was starting to do bits of breaking, you know, and they sort of noticed that I could break as well, and you know, and I also was starting to get really good head spins around that point.
Yeah.
That was when the name was coined.
A guy called Fraser thought of the name Second to None, and that's the name stuck to this day.
The original lineup was me, Paul Spencer, Terry Shaw, and Steve Kerr. That was the original Second to None lineup.
John Isaacs was hanging around at the time.
Well, Second to None, I was there from the very start.
He was kind of, we said, you know, come in the crew, because he had a good place to practice in a bar in Bournemouth that his father owned.
In '85, I was pretty dire, but the thing is I caught up.
And later on, other people joined.
Where we come from, West Wales, a lot of people fighting and stuff like that. And you either join a gang and get into trouble with the police, or you do something creative with your stuff. I didn't have direction, you know. I was, when I first met Junk, I see John did the pier doing finger waves, and I was a punk.
Daryl came along about 6 months later, and he was in Universal Rockers. We saw what he was doing, and he was just crazy.
I think both crews at the time, you know, Second to None and Universal Rockers, they had members that were pretty dope for that time, you know.
Yeah. He had style, he had real kind of aggression, and we thought, right, we're going to drag you along. You've got a lot of energy, you're really aggressive with it.
He had a little brother at the time who, you know, we thought was pretty good and may have a bit of potential, and that was Asa. Later on, he became a monster, really.
1985, that was it. We got the best of the best through that year, and we went to a jam at the Mayfair in Southampton, and we battled the Masters.
At that time, the Masters, they were like sort of quite a feared crew, and no one wanted to speak to those guys at the time. I think it was me and Asa who broke the ice, you know.
One of the founder members was Adam, who later joined Second to None.
You know, you really need to bring your artillery if you're going to beat us.
Basically, they were amazing. Nick was amazing.
When I saw him, that bloke there, in sort of, you know, in 1985, he was the first person I ever saw in the flesh do like continuous flares and, you know, 3 1990s and uprises and belly milks and
all in one set.
All in one set.
At that time, I myself was getting to a point where I could have battled anyone. Yeah, Nick, like I said, that clean b-boy style. I mean, I remember Nick sort of getting into our crew, the Masters, and he actually having an initiation battle with one of our mates. It was a turtle battle. It was bloody, you know what I mean? I can't say more than that.
It was the footwork, it was flares, it was kind of all these power moves, but with bags of style, with absolute bags of style and attitude. And we thought to ourselves, that's what we need.
A big change came in late '86 for me, when basically Nick and Wayne joined Second to None. When's the first time you met us then, Wayne, our dancing and that?
What, honest true?
Yeah.
Thought it was a bit shit, really.
Really?
Yeah, I just thought it was boys trying to remember it.
Really?
And we was only boys ourselves, but we was like a different level.
Oh, we were nowhere near your level.
Wayne was incredible. He was, as good as Nick. I thought, the guy with the no-handed head spin,
From standing
straight to about 6 drill, incredible.
Nick and Wayne put another element into our crew, which was kind of this stone-faced. We'd always been a bit clownish beforehand, and I feel it made us a lot harder as a crew.
We just brought this sort of really raw, rough breaking style. It was like a lot of moves and footwork all combined, just flowing. So, ours was much more raw, it's just much more raw, much more sort of street.
The way you dance, the way you pull your move, and then you smile at the geezers, make him look like a dick, yeah. And that's what we had. We was like, Larry.
And we had the moves to back it up though.
Yeah, we didn't care, we were going in anyone's face.
Nick was going up there more and more with Wayne, and training with seconds up. We had our own little scene down here, didn't we?
We had our own scene.
We had our late 80s, we all got together and we started training like mad. We had our own little scene going and we didn't care about what people thought of us.
How you feel out there?
I suppose it's the Mayfair jams really that comes to mind when I first saw them all together. Yeah, they were getting down into some real tough shit. Yeah, the Southampton jams, that was awesome.
Every little bit of energy you had, you put into your dancing and you put your heart and soul into that. And, hope one day that you're going to be really, really dope.
I can safely say I've never really stuck at anything hardly through my life, but this I knew is going to be a part of my life for the rest of my life.
Come on, I know you're begging, but come forward.
I suppose, like I said, I've always liked the guys and hang around them. I suppose I wanted to be in the crew before I actually got in the crew, but I used to hang around and it looked like a heavy unit, you know what I
He
mean?
looked at Tony and thought, Tony, you can't just stay on your head. But he was like, I've got to nail this. And we're thinking, you've nailed it.
It's really bizarre, really, because I could do 30 head spins before I could do a windmill. I was totally obsessed with it. Me and John used to practice it until our heads bled.
First one-shot head spins were credited to Swan from the Mighty Zulu Kings, but it was Kid Freeze from Dynamic Rockers who invented the continuous head spin.
First person I ever saw sort of do a few pumps was Little Alex in the New York City Breakers President's show. The biggest inspiration for me with head spins really is Peter Edwards. I can't say enough about what that guy really did for head spins.
Peter was dope.
I met Peter in it was early '86. I met Peter, and he come down to the Madison's in Bournemouth.
I'd never heard of a hip-hop club, dance club on a Saturday afternoon on the south coast at all, so we went down there and sort of walked in and it was like, yeah, this is wicked. And I could see people doing head spins, obviously Tony, and he was doing head spins on a crisp packet, on an open crisp packet.
And I was doing sort of pumps then, but I was only doing maybe 10, and I didn't really have the leg technique worked out. And he come down and he could do like 30.
The main thing he wasn't doing was getting enough speed, and then with the speed, the balance will come after, and it will just take you through then. As you say, he was doing 10, but with more speed, you'd do 10 really quickly, and then you go on from there. Then it was just a case of how to flick his legs around to get more speed to carry on.
And the way he used to do it was different to how he used to do pumps and slow down, right down, and then kick a drill out the end. That was his style.
basically had a headspin hat that my mum made for me. I cut up her shopping bag, same material as a deck chair. So she sewed it into my hat. That's the first time I sort of used her headspin hat, which now they're sold worldwide. So yeah, I just said to him, the first bit of advice was you need to get off the crisp packets. And I said, you live in Bournemouth, there must be about 1 million deck chairs in Bournemouth. Just go and cut some deck chairs up and stick them on your hats. And that's what they've done. And just practice. Go slow into drills, like take our tops off, just mixing it up. And we become good friends, and we used to just practice together.
He really inspired me, man, with my essence. I can't say, he was the guy who was the catalyst for me. But after sort of that, I decided to add my own thing to it, because I thought, well, why slow down, man? Why slow down and cut drill? Why not keep going? Why not try and cut into the drill while you're still pumping and try and keep that power? I never had a repertoire of moves, but to get those head spins, I'll tell you now, I had to become obsessed with them.
Yeah.
That move is fucking, I can't describe how hard it is, man. It took me a long time to master it. Around about sort of late 87 going into sort of 88, that's when it really fell off in the UK.
It wasn't like the asteroid hits and everyone dies out. I mean, it was a bit weird. 87, I was sort of giving up on that, and I myself did. But second to none kept going, and it wasn't for them. Maybe this asteroid would have made it all extinct. You don't know.
Steve dropped away around about late 87, and Wayne left, and so did Terry. Paul dropped away around about 88. People sort of left for various reasons, and basically, in the end, it was just a few of us left.
I pump bomb on the calm with no alarm, and never thought that it would get to my mom's.
It was amazing how quickly the whole thing collapsed and how quickly attitudes changed. It wasn't fashionable to break anymore, and it wasn't sort of street cred worthy.
Yeah, it's a fashion thing back in the 80s.
If you was a breaker in the late 80s, you was a bit naff, you was a bit out of touch. That's how people perceived it.
Off. Take those fat laces off. Take it off.
The hate that some people have for it, even people who used to do it, we used to try and throw down at certain jams, and people used to just like, oh, you can't do that, oh, you can't do that anymore.
Why are you still breaking? That's old school, that's whack.
People used to throw ice on the floor and spit at you.
And he's like, fuck, he's like, we didn't give a toss.
We had it everywhere we went.
People thought we were off our heads.
You got dissed?
We got dissed and people thought we were off our heads.
We weren't interested in what people thought. We wanted to dance because that is what we were into. Other dance things that came along didn't offer the same fulfillment like New Jack Swing.
By minute, hour by hour, Kid and Play got soul power. We get funky.
By 88, it was the Kid and Play era. It was a Big Daddy Kane era, people wanted to dance like Kid and Play. There was really no room for b-boying. It was basically looked on as embarrassing by that point. But I mean, there was other people who didn't feel that way.
Breaking was more or less dead. And there's these guys out in the sticks, hot, killing it.
Yeah.
And like, nobody knew and nobody cared. For me, that was like an inspiration for breaking to come back or whatever. But all people did was diss it.
We used to always say, why have these people given up?
Yeah, we couldn't understand
call themselves b-boys, whatever. Why have they given up? We never wanted to give up. And everybody around us gave up, but to us, it wasn't an option giving up. We just loved dancing.
I think
and that is the love of the dance.
Second to none, I'd go down to Bournemouth or I'd have a jam in Southampton or something, and they'd always turn up and they'd always get down. Always.
You may go.
Yeah, step in the room pumping it. Let's be ready to go, we're jumping it. In the morning, I turn to my stereo, turn on the radio. Here we go. Quick to catch using wisdom to break out. Let's go get them warning, watch out. Spread the news, the coming is near. Now that I've rolled with fortune, here I came. Witness conquered who? Written on the wall that the day was due. Finally, without a doubt, seconds ticking. jamming, kicking, you know what you want to do. Stick it in your memo bag, come get this, listen out for the signs. Witness public, way to go.
That blood on the carpet. At the time, it was stuff that was people kind of had, but not at that level. You know, people had flares and they had head spins and stuff, but the level that they were operating at was way higher than anything I'd seen in the past. Crazy next level stuff for the time. You know, whether you like them or whether they're better than you or whatever, you have to be like, yo man, those guys are good. Simple. Later on, certain crews came back like Born to Rock, always rocking tough. But second to none, when people say they never stopped, they're the only ones that can hold their hands on their hearts.
Well, now, people in England better stop what they're doing, because it's time to... That's right, spread the news.
From about 88 onwards, there weren't any crews in the UK. Everyone had given up. All the London crews had given up. All the northern crews had given up.
The only other crew that continued to dance was from Belfast. But like STN, they were also dancing in isolation.
In a way that it was good for us, in a way that it was like that. Because that's really when Second to None style was born, you know. We had no one else to go off of. We only had ourselves to go off of.
We were going hard. We would train and train and train. I don't know, 4 or 5 hours a night, 7 nights a week. Sometimes we were totally fanatical.
It got to the point where we were pretty much behind closed doors, really.
Come on. Get it together.
Break all the time, just break, make break. Wasn't just that though, was it? I think we pushed each other. Now someone would get a move and you're like, I need that, you know. We had to be creative at that time. Had to be creative with what we had. Making up moves like continuous pop outs and Nick doing his turtles to UTFOs and future floors and all that sort of stuff, you know.
We were training. When we trained, we didn't just train all moves. We trained 2 hours on one move. I know when I was doing my halos, I'd do 2 hours on that. Then once I got that, I'd do 2 hours on something else. And then you worked as a whole with all your moves.
We loved dancing. That's why we kept up our dancing. We just bloody loved it. And that was it, and that's all we were about, really.
I think where we was a crew, everybody wanted to be just as good as each other. I think if someone else got the edge, you wanted to get that edge as well. You know, it was like that. You had time to progress your moves and move forward with your moves, and you know, time to practice and time to, you know, to do all these things.
A lot of these moves that people do now, there was no foundation for those. No one knew how to do them. It was experimental. You know, there was no one to tell you how to do it. You had to find out for yourself just by trial and error, and that's why that era is so important. You know.
I know what I saw in 87, 88, 89, 1990 was ridiculous b-boying, and I was seeing stuff, didn't even know what it was. These halo combinations, these power combinations, you know, the flares, the windmills, the swipes, the head spins, all combined, all super fast.
For us, we push breaking, but for us it was always about having fun. Always about having fun and enjoying yourself, you know.
Hard working, and I think once you put your hard work in, you can start brushing up and cleaning up your moves and adding your own style and finesse or whatever you call it.
Everything changed really in 1989, the summer of 1989, when I'm at Aki Water in Covent Garden.
Yes, I think it was like around 88. I was like traveling because of graffiti in London, and Covent Garden was always a place where I used to hang out to meet like graffiti writers. And whenever I saw like somebody like with sneakers, like the Superstars or Puma Suedes, I was keen like to speak to those persons because I know they are connected with hip hop somehow.
This guy came out to me, this German guy, and goes, "Oh, you know, you dance, you break dance." I was like, "Yeah."
We went to like a subway station where there was a good floor, and then like we was dancing together to show us our moves.
I thought, oh, he's not too bad, man. He had like quite a good meal and a nice bit of footwork and some okay top rocks.
It was really impressive. Like second to none was like really like powerful b-boys. And very good in head spin, and they had like this brutal raw style.
And this like reverse hang glide, like glide masters. I was like, that's pretty cool.
I was impressed by their head spins, they were impressed by my hand glides, and like we had a connection.
We presumed that everyone in Europe had also given up, but he told us otherwise, that there was big jams, that there was lots of breakers, there was battles going on.
And then I said, hey, it's a good chance like to bring you guys over.
So we went out there and basically we went to this event, and that's where we first met Storm and Swift.
We knew that the scene was dead in London, so we never really expected anything coming out of England, right? But there was this competition in Munich, Germany, in 1989. I remember it was right after the opening of the wall. There was this competition, and we wanted to participate. And all of a sudden, Tepster, he came with the crew from England. And we were like, who are these guys?
From England.
The guys were funny, cool, and like they had power.
Yeah, okay, wait.
And then there was this blonde, tall guy in the crew, I remember. We were like, oh, he can't be any good. Brilliant. What was amazing about John is like, we always said, man, this guy, he looks like a farmer, you know, but look at the way he breaks. He had all these incredible moves.
Have a look at the film.
Huh?
Have a look at the film.
Film?
You know, can you see it on the camera?
Yeah.
Are you still filming?
Yeah.
Stop.
No. Why?
It's embarrassing.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay, stop.
I remember I was in the warm-up area, and then I saw Tony. He was there, and you know, he just started spinning on his head, right? I looked at it and I was just like, man, the speed. At the same time, all his boys were around, right? So I could, like, you know, like B-boy mentality. You have to be like, oh man, that's nothing. So that's the kind of like thing that I wanted to express with my body language. I don't think it worked out, you know?
I don't know from the others, but for myself it was like, oh shit, what's happened now?
Yeah.
When I saw Tony's head spin, it was the best head spin till now I ever saw. It was clean, but in the other way I don't like it too clean, but it don't look like a gymnast. It's so much energy and swing and style, just the perfect head spin.
From that moment on, I knew, oh shit, we're gonna have a hard time today.
When I saw them the first time, I was like, oh shit. They all had like different styles, and different moves. It was amazing. When I saw them first, I mean, we started practicing different.
Really?
Before it was more like acro-falls, trance, more smooth style, ding, ding, ding. We're like, okay, this is cool. But now we saw, oh shit, there's another level of power. But with style, and we're like, oh man, what's going on?
We took our own style out there, and I think we inspired those guys, you know, and they'll probably say it, you know, on the way.
When I went out there and the way the jam was going, I just thought, it's back, we're back. I thought we definitely hyped it up, you know, definitely put a bit of spark into Europe.
like the same night after the competition at the youth club. I don't even think that we slept that night. We were just talking, exchanging, talking about different things. Videos we had, videos they had. Also, like we already set up, like, okay, where we gonna meet again, and so on and on and on. You know, so it was really nice.
And that's when we realised there was a big scene in Europe. So from 1990 onwards, 91, we kept going out there all the time.
The scene in Europe, it was small, but it was massive at the same time. It was like you go to any jam out in Europe and you'd see breakers, basically, of all different levels. And the main crews at the time, the killer crews, were Battle Squad, Actual Force, there was Crazy Force Crew, there was also Enemy Squad from Hungary, like a real powerful crew. And Throwdown Rockers from Sweden. They were like really stylish breakers. Every crew had something about, like, second to none were like the killers. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, in this time, when the B-boy came back, they are one of the main people who brought it back, if they want or not, you know?
We're coming from a time where, think about, you know, like 83, 84, you had the big hype, everybody was dancing, we were in our element, you know, and all of a sudden a year later, everything was dead. There was nobody left. So whenever we found somebody that had the same heart, you know, for the dance and that loved it as much as we did, you know, like we were just happy about it, and we all became friends, you know, it was really like that.
Everybody inspired everybody back then, you know. I think took a lot of power out there, you know, that people had never seen before, that raw UK power. Second to none held on to that, and Nick always had that power back then. And it's something that sort of run through the crew, really.
Nick I always liked for his flavor, fast, everything, the way he combined stuff. He was doing it in a very, very nice way. With John, with the way he was spinning on his head, and people were like, man, this guy just never stops. So it was just amazing, you know, the power moves they did, you know, it was really nice hanging out with everybody.
It was good because it was something new, you know, it's good to see that other dancers not giving up, and they carried on the same as us as well, you know. So it was a different style for us to see. I think they were shocked by our style as well.
Like Asa for his triples, for his halos, that was amazing. And then, of course, you had Daryl with his power.
I consider him the finesse guy of the crew. He was very slick. Even though he's quite big, he was like, he's a finisher. Do you know what I mean?
I went out a couple of years after these guys, but when Europe come along, worked again, it was like, bam, that feeling was there again. And it's sort of like being reborn.
Also something that we used to say, man, these two brothers, they look like they get in shape on a dock or something. They live in Bournemouth, you know, dock workers, and after work they go like, yeah, let's have some food and let's go to practice. The whole expression and the way they look, you could tell they were like, they were some tough guys, you know?
They were, yeah. We went everywhere, didn't we? We went to Berlin, we went to the Battle of the Year, we went to Sweden, me and Nick went to Sweden.
I met Nick and Daryl in a jam in Sweden, and there was very few people who kept doing it. Throwdown, we kept doing it from the 80s and 90s and kept it alive. In Sweden we were very much isolated, we didn't have contact with other breakers. So just to know that there were some people breaking in another country, of course, gives you a little bit motivation.
Oh man, when I seen his footwork, the footwork the guy was doing, I was like, ah, wow, this guy's got some rough footwork.
Yeah. Second to none was a crew who kept breaking in a time when everybody stopped. There is no question about it that they have a very, very important place in the UAK breaking history.
Tony came to Berlin after, I remember, which was really nice, just so we can hang out and stuff. See, Tony was doing his head spins there. Then I saw the way on how he practiced, and that's when I studied it. It looked like as if Tony had like a real loose hip, because his upper body would go first and his legs would rotate like vroom, vroom, and his upper body and vroom, vroom, his legs would also like whoosh, and he goes into the spin.
Yeah, I went and trained with those guys in September, and still, you know, I was doing long drills, and Storm couldn't believe those drills, man.
He was just spinning, and with this amazing speed and stuff. So of course I tried immediately to spin with that speed, and that was my problem, because you know you gotta walk before you run, right? You know, every time when one knee of mine would go back, I would really have a problem. You know, I would lose my center.
You have to become obsessed with them. He got them, but he didn't get them to about 93, and he became obsessed with them.
People do not realize the feeling. You know, that when you're spinning and you just keep going and you keep going, and you fall into a trance, man. And you stop when you want to stop, or actually when the spin stops. It's like it's one of the best feelings in the world.
It plays havoc on your neck, and I'm sure Storm would say the same, man.
When people are asking me, I always say Tony was the one that actually inspired me the most for the headspin, and also, of course, because at that time Tony was also talking about the guys from Australia, you know, about their headspins, and he brought the video with him. So that was the first time I saw the ball headspin, and at that same time I was like, well, I want to learn that too.
Type magazine. People were writing to us, you know, from all around the world. And the first B-boy to send us any video footage or write to us was a guy. This was in probably very early 90s, probably 1990. A kid called Tony Penfold.
I wrote them a letter, basically, and said, you know, I'm a B-boy from the UK, you know, and basically, I'll send you some footage and stuff, you know, and I think they were like, yeah, whatever, and then I sent them that tape of the hair and stuff.
And this is where it all touches base, because we'd only seen the Air Force's stuff, you know, we'd seen this power, it was unreal, it was freak. We'd never seen anything from Europe. They had the same concept where they were tight shirts, and I was thinking power, you know, keep it clean, keep it smart, keep it perfect. No one's doing sets of halos like these boys.
And they wrote me a letter back saying, you know, how amazing it was, and they'd never seen people do doubled rock side casts.
Also, Europe was killing it with, you know, the halos and the other big cool moves, you know, ground moves and floor moves. One guy that blew us away was Asa. Before he did his move, he'd look side to side and then just jump down.
Where Swift and me, we were always rewinding, where Asa, you know, like Swift was the man for the tracks, for the halos, you know, so we would always look for it, and we were like, man, how does he do that, you know?
Like the Second Command guys are crazy, English guys doing crazy halos.
And then we realized he's doing top rock, he's talking to one of the other guys, and while he's talking, he's just like, whoop, and he goes into tracks without even looking at the floor and stuff.
Jump down to these big sets of halos, just mad power, straight legs.
I'm like, he doesn't even look at the floor, you know, he just does it.
And he was like,
That's Asa.
Yeah. Heaps of form.
That's when they sent me the tapes of Orko and Ozrock, and that's the first time I'd seen those guys break. famous show with Orko and Ozrock and Buck 4 and Kuriaki. You know, it was incredible, really.
So when we got hold of that video through Jewel, and we seen this Orko, his style was big, his head spins were big split-legged taps. And he'd do this thing we call a ball, where he'd drop his legs down with a spin, grab his ankles, sort of like a spin ball. And we loved it.
My love goes out to all the B-boys from the UK, especially to Second to None, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're about my age, they've been putting it down since day one. You know, impressive with mad flavor, mad power, you know what I'm saying? Seeing the footage, what I remember is that, you know what, it was just very raw, very original. It wasn't copied off of someone. You could tell, you know, you guys had your own style, your own flavor, and that's what this game is all about, and just expressing yourself, and that was what caught my attention the most, and I was most impressed, like, yo, these brothers got, you know, ill flavor, ill power, you know, you could tell they're enjoying themselves, and that's what it's all about, definitely, man.
Cool.
Definitely.
On and on and on and on until the break of dawn, until the break of dawn, on and on until the break of dawn, until the break of dawn.
For more than 5 years, more or less, nobody really knew if there's still dancers left in the UK. And then all of a sudden, like, Second to None came out and everybody was shocked and surprised in a positive way.
The first battle of the year in 1990, Nick had met Zed, he was a very important person.
Yeah, I met them on the first battle of the year ever, 1990. Those days it was a bit weird because just all the best B-boys grouped up together, made a group, and then they walked off with the win.
That's when it was just a showcase, you didn't battle. They entered it with Kai Eichmann and the other Kai from Berlin under the name of TDB, To Die Breaking.
I was very happy to see that, yes, there was a standard of breaking at that level. That really freaked everybody.
I saw Nick doing turtles there, and that was the fastest turtles I've ever seen. It just blew me away.
I would say groups like Second to None really formed and built up the image, especially in the first years, which, looking back, probably were the most important or the best years.
They showed us Germans that there were people out there who were still doing it and who were doing it at a higher level than we were doing it at the time. You could have the power, you could have the style without looking like fucking gymnasts.
Well, they were part of history. I mean, for the first 5 battle of the years. Somehow Second to None brought in a really raw and rough original street style back into it. Groups like Second to None, Battle Squad, Crazy Force Crew, Enemy Squad, they were the superheroes. So without them, probably Battle of the Year would never be like it is today.
At that point we got really good and we could basically compete against anyone probably in the world at that point. We weren't that known, but I think what got us known is the distribution of certain videotapes around the world. Like American guys had the videotapes, Australian guys, European guys. I mean, this is before the internet, but basically through people sending each other tapes and stuff like that, the name got around that we were good.
You can't talk about Europe history without talking about Second to None. This is something I have learned. I've had to learn and like just bow my heads and recognize that Second to None has definitely got to be one of the greatest crews that ever existed when you're talking about European and possibly even world history, because they inspired, you guys have inspired so many people. I mean, some of the best B-boys in the world. You know what I'm saying? Drop the name Second to None. I've gone all over the world. I've spoken to the greats. My man Speedy, you know, from Germany, one of the greatest B-boys that ever did it. Sat down and he told me the story of the first time he really knew what breaking was. He was dabbling in it. He went down to Switzerland to a jam called CH Fresh, and he said, and he put his hand on my shoulder as he said it. He said, Ness, that's when I saw Second to None, and everything changed.
When we went to CH Fresh in 1990, me, John Acer, this massive circle, you might see it on some of the videos, and there was Maurizio, Storm, Swift, Emilio,
a few other people, all on one side. There was me, John and Asa sat on one side. Well, no one was really throwing down in it because they were basically, they wanted to battle us. So it was a big circle and I'm pacing up and down because I'm really itching to get in the circle. And I just jumped over all the people and just went straight in and started the battle. Just had this urge.
I remember when I saw the battle routine, Second to None and Battle Squad. As soon as I started watching it, I'm like, this is a classic battle. And then later on, Storm was telling me, oh, this is a classic battle, you know, because Maurizio was the man. And basically, Second to None didn't give a shit.
It was only me and Asa and John there. It was me and Asa were doing the battle. And that's when I did that combo. Into footwork, mill, uprise, swipes into 90. You know, Maurizio kept coming out battling me. He was doing some nice stuff actually. But he was trying to pull off Flair 90 and he kept sort of messing it up. And then Asa was just doing, you know, like his halos and stuff, and they didn't have a clue. They
I just thought, that's it, you're in, I'm in, you know, that's the way it went.
Come in raw, you know, just nailed it basically.
What were you feeling when that battle started to emerge? You know, Asa and Nick coming at you guys. You know, did you feel it was a real battle?
No, yeah, in a way, but not like face to face. More just indirect.
Okay.
Like there's a battle. You know there's a battle, but you don't say it. But you don't have to say it.
You know, Storm and Swift were great in that. They had some great moves, and Actual Force were there as well. But that's when we really met Maurizio, and he just shone out of them lot, you know? He just shone out of them lot.
You know, if you meet someone that you respect, you battle. That's how it was. And people would think like, oh, they don't like each other. No, it's because I like this guy. Every time I have the chance to see people that really respect and really going off. You see that, you know?
It's very inspiring dancing with Maurizio. You know, like us lot, there's certain members in the crew that we all went off. I'd go off Asa because of the way he breaks and I'd do a move, and then Nick would go off me.
Yeah.
You know, and Tone would go off Nick or whatever, and John would go off somebody else. And with Maurizio, it's the same. You know, it's like a kindred soul. You know.
Then you touch the floor in a way I don't like. I'm not even gonna dance with you. You know what I'm saying? It's about respect. And when I say respect, I want a respect for the heart.
I suppose we were the same, weren't we? You know, it's like, you know, you meet people and you click straight away with people, and it's like you've never met them before, but you're like, you know, you think you've known them 10 or 20 years. You know, it's like that.
We instantly got on with Maurizio because he was like us, really. You can see he put his hard work in there. You felt it. You can see he felt it on the floor. There's a lot of energy there. That Maurizio brought to the floor, which I personally felt as well. I think it was just, you know, it comes from deep within yourself and you want to express it.
We be boys because of that. Because we share this kind of energy.
Yeah, that passion.
That passion. You know what I'm saying? It's more than what you do.
Yeah.
It's you. You manifest yourself through your expression.
Yeah.
But even you don't dance, the passion you put on your words, that's your energy right there. If you're not able to see this, I feel they missing a big part of this dance. You know?
Basically, Storm phoned me up in the summer of 1990 and said, yo, you know, Tony, I haven't seen you for a while, you know, you need, you know, we're putting together this like super crew, you know, European All Stars, I want you to be in it. I said, well, you know, I'd like to be in it, but I can't, you know, I can't really dance with it. My leg is it's screwed, you know, I've ruptured a tendon. So he said, would Nick be interested in it? I know Nick at the time had some, you know, personal things going on in his life, so he couldn't do it either. So me and Nick cooked up the plan of sending Asa out there, because we just thought, right, who can we send out there that's really gonna, you know, they're gonna struggle to keep up with? Oh, I know, we'll send Asa out there.
I said, yeah, I'll be up for that. So I went out to with Zed to this shopping precinct, and we had Maurizio there, Emilio, Storms, Swift, all those guys were there, and we all danced together and made this anti-drug video, which was a really good day.
And this is my man Asa from Bournemouth in Southern England.
Super funk incorporated. If you be a sucker MC, I'ma try to make sure you hate it. Fast rap made to get them agitated, aggravated. I can see they really ain't glad I made it. Cause now they gotta keep up or get left behind every time I speed up. And go a mile a minute, rockin' on until the beat is finished. Back and forth like we're playing table tennis.
He was very explosive, very spontaneous. He didn't have a plan what he was doing. He just jumped into the circle and did what he felt he had to do, and he did some crazy stuff.
The kitchen from the force of the vocals that I'm pitching, itching for a scratch. When I strike MCs are no match. When I go digging no beat I won't catch. Mr. Fantastic on the track. Film most till you know I got it like that. And FYI, Def I try to make it so the fly girls might wanna lie naked with an MC. Well, you know the story. That kind of thing just go with the territory.
I think at that time there was a little bit of competitism going on, so me and Maurizio were like very similar in the way we danced, so we just gene each other up, you know, and he dances from the heart, and that's good for me.
The drum break, drop heavy and shake walls and baseboards, fracture the joints and break floors. It is no longer safe.
Same as me, very powerful, very quick, technical. I was surprised by speed. He's very fast, and the way he comes out, his moves are sharp.
But on stage I'm long-winded, so
Swift, same, is very technical, got good halos, flares, and very humble. I see him as a very humble guy.
Going toe to toe, meaning rhyme to rhyme, flow for flow.
Storm, I think Storm likes to get moves down perfect. He likes to perfect moves. We're not like, we just freestyle, aren't we? So, but it's good dance. And I got on well.
It's not running when I come in the vicinity. But let's be friends, not enemies. Peace is the goal, love is the remedy. Had soul, and that's the holy trinity. And I had soul before I lost my virginity.
Asa amazed me with his way of doing things.
Asa was incredible, powerful, strong.
A lot of power, incredible power. Power with style.
Incredible speed and the elegance.
I know I'm powerful, but I don't feel like I'm powerful, you know what I mean? Because I'm so used to doing it at that speed and that, so I don't really see myself as powerful. I just dance the way I dance, you know.
Asa for his triples, but he was the one that made him famous for us. His approach to it, you know, the way he did it. When it looks that natural, that's how it's supposed to be. Like just like,
Well, I actually try to relax as much as I can, but just go with it, flow with what you're doing. As soon as you stop thinking too much and putting all this pressure on yourself, I think it shows when you're dancing.
And my memorable moments was always after parties. In the after party, I see crazy going off.
I remember halos, triples, and pumps, and really fast mills, combinations. Asa did some crazy stuff, like a headspin drill with an angle, but his legs weren't going around in a circle, but he kept the angle. I remember Emilio, after the jam, was just like this, oh, Asa. No, he said he can do anything, Asa.
We are the European All-Stars, and we say no to drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Across the planet, there were a couple of entities that were keeping it going. Actual Force definitely one in France, Battle Squad, second to none. Zero Round Rockers?
Bill and Jamie in Australia.
Right, so there were a couple, and then the only connection to Europe in New York at that time, from what I understand, was myself. You know, some people, individuals talk about, you know, they were around in the 70s or late 70s when the dance was dying and they were going around looking for people. And nobody was dancing and they were searching and they were battling different folks. I was doing the same thing in 86, 87. I was looking for a lot of people, like, where is everybody? Getting spit at, ice, being thrown on the floor, getting into fights for my right to express myself. I was accustomed to breaking to the break, and I didn't see people doing that. And I had to move people out the way. And I was like a lone soldier, you know? Or Just Begun would come on, and people would just two-step into it. I was like, no, you don't. You gotta move the fuck out the way. This is an anthem that speaks to many people for a cause. Move, because I'm about to do the movement, you know? So, you know, I'll defend it viciously.
Watch me now. Feel the groove. And it's something gonna make you move. Here we go.
It did kind of die out in the streets with a lot of the numbers died out. You know, the numbers, like if there was 500 to every 5 blocks, the numbers went down. You know, I wasn't training that much at all. And I was like, you know, I had just been I was working at a gym, you know, I was doing the average Joe life. You know what I'm saying? I had been coming off a serious time in my life in the late 80s. You know, the deaths of my brothers, man, you know, bucking them. You know, there's a lot of things going down. I mean, I didn't really have to hear that Europe was doing it, because if we had just brought it to a lot of Europe in the mid 80s, there's no way they would have stopped, bro. You know, just because people in the States maybe stopped.
But at that point, you know, I mean, people were starting to hook up. You know, the few pockets of people left in the world were starting to hook up and dancing together.
Reed Street. Yes, this is the place from Reed Street. Yeah? No.
When I met Niels, and his name was Swipe Rock at the time, everybody knows him as Storm, gave me a VHS tape. And when I saw the tape, it was you guys practicing in the hall, not in the hallway, but in the hall, and in the back was graffiti.
Yeah, that was a youth club.
It's the Harewood. And I was like, yo, these guys have the energy of the underground scene in New York. And you could see the direct correlation between the style. And that particular style is indicative of hardcore people. The energy that was in there, you could feel it right through the camera. And I was like, this is really good energy here. And it was inspiring to see, because something that we created now reached to some brothers overseas. Even though I didn't know you guys, I was like, yo, these guys feel like family. When I saw the Europeans break, it was like looking in the mirror. You know, it was like, this is where New York would be if New York didn't stop. And I had no qualms with that, because New York started the scene, and it was being continued overseas. And now we just went back full circle. And now it's met up with us again, and now we're looking at it straight on.
Quickstep and me, we were practicing a lot, but at some point, also Quickstep, he was like, and you know, like, where did you learn your drills from? And I said, you know, told him, saying, yeah, there was this one guy here in New York, his name was Flo. He had drills like that, so I was dying to meet Flo as well.
What's going on, my brother? This is the Floatster, Incredible Breakers. I'm just giving a shout out to Second and None. Heard you guys are doing your thing out there in Europe. You're, you know, legend out there and overseas. And I want to send out my props. Peace.
Second and None has always been a big name. The first times that I saw them, I know for sure that it was some serious business because of their tradition. I remember a lot of power moves, you know, clean power moves, you know what I'm saying, combinations and complete combinations. Seeing these dudes flying around, you know, doing all these crazy new advanced spins and everything, I was trying to climb on board like that, and it wasn't just me. I couldn't do it, man. I felt like it was over. And then what happened was, we did the Wild Star reunion, and that's when I saw Maurizio.
When I got in New York and it was people like Kenny, Wills, those people, they gave me love right away.
I'm like, yo, this nigga is fucking killer. This nigga's crazy. And then when I went to Hanover, I think it was 93 or 92, and I got a real big taste of, what Europe was doing.
In 1992, we can say that it has changed our life in a certain way. Everything all together. I mean, Second to None and Battle Squad, what they have done in there is just incredible.
That's probably, if you rank it, one of the most important and most famous battle we ever had in Battle of the Year, and I completely agree, because that was 92, it was still a very underground atmosphere.
When you were there, if anybody was there, definitely they had the same feeling. Something has changed. The air around you was vibrating. It was just incredible.
A lot of people just came to see Second to None dancing live. Some guys from Always Rocking Tough, Tim Twist, joined Second to None.
I heard about Second to None from Quickstep out in New York. We were due to go out to a jam in Europe. We went out to it in Germany, and we heard again more rumours of these guys. We got in touch with them in Bournemouth, went down to visit them. Yeah, straight out to Battle of the Year in Celle in Germany. The 92 Battle of the Year.
We were just going to enter it on our own, and then Tim and Tom said, can we dance with you guys as well? And we were like, yeah, so we did like a super crew like this. Well, I don't know, we even know what the crew name was to this day.
There was extra tension because in 1991, Maurizio was still dancing for Battle Squad, and Battle Squad won Battle of the Year 1991, and then somehow they split up, and Maurizio in this year 92 was dancing on the other side.
We had a battle together against my whole crew. It just happened, we met at Battle of the Year 92. I just came back from New York at the time. So we were like, what we're gonna do? We're gonna dance together?
We went there just for looking, because Emilio had no time. Maurizio was out of the crew. So we said like, okay, we just go there for checking out, and then people started talking like, you're gonna be down tonight? I said, no way, we are just two people. You're scared? I said, no, we are not scared, we are just two people. You're scared. So, all right, we do it. We have nothing to lose.
I mean, I had some beef with Maurizio. That's a totally different story. I mean, Maurizio left us for Rocksteady, so that's a different thing, right?
As a kid, my dream was to be part of Rocksteady crew. Then they asked me to join Rocksteady. I was, and of course, I was. It was my dream.
So it didn't really matter to me anymore. I was like, well, if he wants to go, let him go. But for him, it was, I guess, sort of a problem. And so I guess he instigated some kind of stuff as well. That all of a sudden it wasn't Second to None, Always Rockin' Tough Maurizio battling us. It all went by the name Rocksteady Family.
I guess we had like 8 or 9 dancers on the Second to None side against 2 from Germany, Swift and Storm, so that already was like a really strange, pair.
That's where you see the very first head slide from any b-boy in the world. Oh, real man,
We travelled all that way to do the battle, and Battle Squad come with 2 people. They didn't come with a whole crew, so I mean, that's not our problem.
That was a really strange case. I mean, if you look at Battle Squad, and that was like a political situation, it was like a real battle between the 2 crews. But if you just look at the picture, like 2 guys on one side and 8 or 9 guys on the other side, it was like the respect needed to give in to Battle Squad.
If you watch the battle closely and you look at Swift and me, right, we weren't really feeling it, but at the same time, we had to bring it to the table, right?
When Storm did his shoulder spin, it was just amazing. And then, again, Asa to hit these triple halos and then a double right after that. It was just, again, incredible.
They still had the flavour of the UK with the power that the UK had back in the day, and took it to that level, took it out to Europe. For Europe to get a buzz off them, you ask most of them European crews, they'll tell you second to none is the ones that they were looking at to beat.
I must say I loved the attitude from second to none, especially like Asa, and was it like a battle between two similar groups.
The floor was fucking slippery for everyone, so everybody's like this top rocks and then entering slip on, and okay, if you're down on the floor, you can go for the moves, but I think with a better floor, there will be a totally different battle.
I was taking always very serious these things. You see that?
Yeah.
It wasn't an anger, it was just like, you know, that was my way of speaking. And to me, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's my roots. I'm a Sicilian. I have my own pride.
At the end, I think the fault of second to none, or of Rocksteady family in this time, was like that they are always like going back to back. So when Daryl throw a track, I was thinking, oh shit, now it's my turn. So I knew that Asa will come after me and destroy me then, if you're lucky, you know? So all right. But then after it came Asa, so okay, now I can do my turn. And so there was a little bit disorganized. I think normally they could have destroyed easily, you know, with just to hold themselves back. But I think there was so much of a you know, we're just a 5 minutes.
92, I was one of the judges on the Battle of the Year back then. I would point on like second to none as the winner. But I must say it because of the fact that only like Swift and Storm as a two-man group was able to keep up with their moves. I gave like my winning goal like to Battle Squad at that time.
Seriously, we went crazy when we have seen that battle, and we went home and we just kept watching the battle.
It's historical. It's one of the most historical battles we ever had.
I remember we weren't even watching our battle, you know, for the third place. We got the third place though, but we weren't even watching that, you know, we were watching that battle for the first place.
For me, sometimes I wish that it never happened, because it kind of like broke up the relationship between second to none and us. Yeah, and after that kind of like, you know, like we weren't really in contact anymore, you know. But that's when Swift and me said, all right, enough of that. We don't want to battle no more. This is not what we're dancing for. It's over. And it was the last time we competed.
We mucked up a bit there, I think. I mean, there was too many of us.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't bring their full crew, so I mean, we should have just left Maurizio and Ace sort of like take it out, you know.
It just changed my whole view on dancing. I'm glad for the battle, because I was a little bit disappointed, but it changed my view on breaking, and I think you need that sometimes, that, you know, a push in the right direction.
I mean, they did their bit, you know. I
mean, they look good on the day.
They look good on the day, and that's not,
they look good.
And you can't begrudge them that, you know. They look better than us on the day.
You can talk about that battle, but truly, I never judged that battle. I mean, I was watching in the front row. It was something historical. I mean, not the battle was the point. The skills that we have seen, knowledge on the dance floor, that was the point.
Like in LA, there wasn't really that much dancing. Like the scene had died for about a good 5 years. I stopped in '85, the end of '85.
Wow.
When Radiotron was shut down and demolished out here in California. That's when like we all turned to the streets. Every crew that was here in Los Angeles became gangsters. And how many crews do we had in Los Angeles? Over 5,000 crews. So you can just imagine the killing that went on. I think like somewhere around 92. That's when I started hearing names, and that's when the name Second to None came about.
Yep.
And when I saw it, I saw that you guys were actually at a very high level. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew that you guys been breaking for a while.
Yep.
Like it just didn't happen from overnight. Because why? The speed was there, the control was there. The power moves and the air moves was there, and I saw, wow, these guys are, man, these guys, they're dangerous.
I call them B-Boy Masters. I was inspired by Second to None. So was a lot of dope Cali crews. I still look at the videos that I have of them, and I still give mad respect.
It's very important that people around the world know that without the Europe push, I don't think a lot of us here, like myself, I can speak for myself and my crew, we wouldn't have had such a motivation to go farther and farther with the dance, you know what I mean?
Like when we stopped in the 80s, they were still doing it. Like that holds, back then especially, that held a lot because a lot of people had quit in the United States. So for Europe to hold on to that, like in the late 80s and the early 90s, man, that was incredible for us because nobody was breaking. Like literally you would get laughed at. So when we seen them still doing it, holding on to it strong and preserving that, we were proud of them. And then taking the next level and moving.
I think at that time, we were like, wow, okay, these guys, we were good, but I think you guys were ahead of the game. You guys were like killing it.
The presence, the essence, the conviction, and just doing it in general, the blood, sweat, and years of your crew, Second to None, has waved over to the four corners.
Early 90s era that inspired me to be as dynamic as I am with my music. That was my favorite era. That was when I woke up and realized how amazing breaking could be. I was like, that's it, that's breaking.
My best memory is probably like Battle of the Year, 92. My impression of Second to None at that point was incredible. Just seeing the crew and the way they hold it down as a unit was really impressive because everyone had each other's back. It was very collective. Everything looked good and it flowed good. And the style was just incredible. Keep doing your thing. It's good to know you're out there. Peace.
I saw the Battle of the Year 92 and I was like, my jaw was to the floor. I was like, I was just like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? Asa.
Yeah. Asa with his triple halo, everybody got that from you, right? I'm gonna say that. We got it from you.
He blew our mind, you know what I mean? He was like up there at that time, we thought was Storm. The best of it.
Thank you, Asa, for teaching me halos, and you're the first person I ever seen do halos and double halos, and I actually got my idea from you to do halos with no hands and the flares. So I want to give mad love to you. Happy holidays.
I saw Tony, he was pencil drills, like slow motion. I was just tripping out, I told my crew, I go, yo, we gotta practice, bro, because we gotta go to Europe and we gotta battle. And if we don't practice, we're gonna get served because these niggas are on another level, bro.
I just want to thank you guys for actually inspiring me by me watching that battle to give me some fire, and came back over here in the US and said, wow, I got to do something about it. I came back and I said I need to do an event, and that's how Radiotron came back again.
This show in Switzerland we did, we were on fire.
Right, it was March 92, yeah? This guy got us out there and he got us out there to do this show with it, and he said it had like 4 magic DJs and Second to None. It was a raised stage in like a dome place, DJ playing like loads of fucking stuff, it's just like hardcore fun. We break for about, it's got to be 45 minutes or more.
The brother with the skill to build, he scratched Master Robin out double chip. Who be in a party to rip on a single LP or video clip.
The couple
first, it wasn't really a battle, there wasn't really any competition there versus other B-boys, it was more just a kind of a showcase. But first, that was one of the early shows that we did, was really on top.
By crew as we go on, so on, rival so on. Another break beat so unique and let it flow on. You can't rent it or sell it, just lease it. You gotta keep it, and yo, Rob, release it.
We got going, and it just went on, and the moves just kept getting better. We got more into it, and the stuff we were pulling out just escalated.
We're just getting better and better and better. We just start off doing little stuff. By the end of it, we're doing windmill 90s and loads of stuff that we were working on at the time.
And we was doing weird moves and stuff, and we was just creating all the time. But we was just doing combination after combination, just coming out to funk.
It's one of the best shows we ever did, I reckon.
It was continuous, like, I don't know how long we was breaking for. It was all night till 7 o'clock in the morning. You know what I mean? We was just all fired up. We was all creating new stuff. At the time, we was all creating new moves, and you know.
That really influenced a lot of B-boys in Switzerland. I also joined the show. Unfortunately, I had a motorbike accident just 6 months before, so I was in agony. But that made a great impact, actually.
I did a mill, and pretty fast, and I just come straight off the stage, kicked this guy straight in the head, knocked him straight out.
I suppose, like I said, I've always, liked the guys and hang around them. I suppose I wanted to be in the crew before I actually got in the crew. So I think they were looking for a little bit of, just maybe a little bit of new energy in that, you know.
Hold it, break it down. I'm gonna take it down.
A bit more advanced than what I was used to, because I'd left it for a few years. So, you know, like I said, I've always been a bit of a come forward sort of character. So, you know, it's just a little bit of energy, yeah.
Isn't on the streets, it's on a higher level. You're living in hell, but who's the devil? The truth will set you free, some won't let you see. They won't tell you in a university, so you need more than a degree. You know it's like Baby Huey said, listen to me. I'll mold you, I'm not your mom, I won't scold you. Get into the rhythm and let the beat hold you. If you ignore everything I told you, my crew might treat you like a joint and roll you. So act like you know before I go off like a psycho. I'm not Michael Jackson, no, I never wanna be lighter. I'm an MC like Tyson's a fighter, knocking them out, so don't be hard-headed. Who's feel most chill is the one who said it. Moving up fast, coming from behind is Grandmaster Rob, will now release your mind.
At the end of it, I could hear guys in the audience go, oh my god, they are incredible, they're the best breakers I've ever seen in my life. These Swiss guys were bigging us up.
Somebody at the door. Yeah, let them in. Whoever the motherfuckers are.
Alright, how you doing? Alright? Come over. Come over here. Yeah, straight towards me. That's it.
This is Brother Adam.
Brother Adam. The man with the mystical touch.
When I first started breaking in early '83, Adam had already been breaking a year. When I first saw it, Adam in 1982 was doing hopping turtles as fast as anybody can do now. Even faster, he was just blazing.
Adam has a unique style. He's quite notorious within the scene for his aggression, a lot of mad upwalk and unusual moves.
Guy would just freak me out. He was just a lunatic, like he was out of The Hills Have Eyes or something. Do you know what I mean? He was just mental. was so powerful and stylish, and he was making crazy stuff up on the spot.
I was heavily into my footwork and just into crazy, real weird stuff, you know.
His footwork was fucking ridiculous. He used to do so many mad things.
What happened is he launched himself. He's a bit of a psycho, isn't he? So, but his dance and he's very erratic, and that's his personality. He's erratic on the floor. So he's completely loose.
What a bus! What a bus! It's great to be here at the San Antonio Spring Yoga Championship 1985.
Come the mid-90s, the UK scene started to re-emerge, but we found ourselves kind of really at the top of it.
And I think it took a lot of time for people to sort of catch up and think, well, second time doing it, let's get into it.
And then new crews in the UK started springing up, younger kids, and that's when it all kind of got going again.
Here you had this period where it was only in clubs and it was really coveted and no one really knew about it. At that time, Africa Centre was the place to go. Funky Pussy, Bitches Club. So we'd go up there thinking we were the boys, we were the, doing all our bit. And then on occasion, Second to None would be at the jam. And then it was over.
Rarely you see Second to None like hitting around circles, and when you hear Second to None's about, man, you get all the people in the club, their ears just flunk out. These guys were really super dope. In the early 90s, they didn't have competitors over here, not in their standards, definitely.
They were unpredictable, they were raw, they were aggressive, they were dynamic, they were in your face. They took over the floor, they took over the jam.
I call it the Dark Ages because there was only a select few that were doing it. Unless you read the little bit of write-up about Funky Pussy, you wouldn't even know that there was much going on. Other clubs like Breaking Bread, worth mentioning, Freshly Break. Sure, yeah. This is what we used to do. We used to go around these clubs. We used to rotate around them because there was nothing else.
Anywhere you would go, you'd always feel like the circle was going to be magical, vibe was going to be incredible. So every time you go there, it doesn't matter who's there, you'd always throw down, you'd always kind of go off.
All night long, man.
Yeah.
I actually saw them in the flesh in a club called The Wag, like about 95. Power combos, done in the fashion where there was no fucking around. Shit, what did he just do? Was that a double? Was that triple? Was it quadruple? Yeah. Cross-legged. Bang.
Nowadays, everyone's dancing, everyone's trying to be the next freestyle sessions, the next whatever American trend, and now it's like the Koreans, now it's the French. But back then, it was the UK. Yeah. We didn't have all these other crews to aspire to. There weren't all these other crews.
The jams that went on in London, that came from the travelling mentality of Second to None. We'd already agreed at the time that this was here to stay, and we weren't going to allow fashion to dictate whether we were in or out of the b-boying again.
Rockers' Revenge Night in Hoxton Square. That night for me epitomises the b-boy scene because you had the likes of ourselves and the other people representing, but you had Second to None there. They would always be at that jam, and so you were guaranteed to see the whole emphasis, the whole entity of what b-boying should be, not just foundation, not just power, but both, Yeah, man.
There's a difference in feeling. When you're in a circle, it's like you feel more ease. That's when your best stuff comes out. It wasn't a competition or anything like that, it was just a jam where you had DJs and a lot of heads, and then a circle would just start and we'd be in it, but it was always a really good atmosphere. It's really what an underground hip-hop club should be like.
I saw them guys at Hoxton in the Blue Note, and the circle is this small, and they're doing all their stuff, and people's legs ain't getting ripped from under them. How do you get such control?
I mean, they were super fast and super bad, you understand what I'm saying? Very, very, very dangerous fucking breakers, man. I mean, you better think twice about speed and control at the same time. No one can touch these cats, especially one of the guys. I think it's Adam, the Second World War B-boy. I call him Spitfire B-boy, man.
It's difficult to look at SDN and kind of like pick one of them out because like they all bring something different to the mix that's kind of needed.
Who was your favourite?
Daryl, man. That guy was a character, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was just, not just his B-boy, character. Something about him. He was the pure B-boy, you know? He had the Muggsy, he had the whole attitude, the style.
Daryl was a power breaker first of all, then later on he developed into more of a style breaker. No-handed pop-outs now. I mean, he influenced a lot of people with those continuous no-handed pop-outs.
At this point, Daryl's dancing really started to evolve. It'd always been powerful, it'd always been funky, but now, mid to late 90s onwards, the main focus of his style shifted into developing more innovative freezes and footwork.
That was just freestyling. It's freestyle stuff. I was always looking for different angles, you know. I'm still looking for different angles to go in, you know. It's like that, you know. It's like if you're a B-boy, you're always looking for something different to do, always, you know. I'm not a sort of guy that wants to do set moves. I'd rather be noticed for like stuff that no one else does, you know, like weird angles and stuff like that. That's how I like it, sort of thing.
Well, and Daryl, I just think that he understands, you know, you can just stand there and be B-boy. It's not like a performance, it's not an act.
Like, I'd heard about Second to None. I'd never seen Second to None in life. It was like a mythical legend or like a mythical beast or something, you know what I mean? You hear stories, but like no one had ever seen them where I was from.
Another fond memory for me was the Son of Noise launch party, I think it was, at Appling Centre. That jam, you had a showcase from Always Rockin' Tough. You had another showcase from Second to None, and I think there was one other crew. Oh, Born to Rock. So there was the three main crews, which was unbelievable because that was the whole hip hop. You know, everyone in that jam was ahead.
You went to the Africa Centre Jam in '95.
That was our jam.
That was yeah, right.
And I got these guys to come down.
My name's Unique and he's Godfather D, the X-Maniac.
And they killed it. When them guys came out, the place just erupted,
We had a certain attitude and flavour to our breaking as well, quite a heavy rawness.
Kind of don't give a shit, demolish everybody, fuck the world style. We kind of had that really. It was kind of a bit like that. Oh, bollocks, we're just going to break.
people had been wanting to see something like that again, and they provided it at a really high level. And even though the floor was shit, they are killing it, man. The power, man, and I'm not talking about power move, but just that powerful presence.
At the end of the day, Second to None represented the UK. They're from Bournemouth, they represented the UK. When you talk about old school crews, yeah, Second to None is at the top of the pile there. Do you know what I'm saying? You carried the torch in the dark days. Simple as that. He was carrying it, pushing it, and repping. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's how I see you guys. You all stand out in your own individual ways, and it was good that you all had your own individual styles as well. As much as you was repping in all the disciplines, every last one of you. Every last one of you can handle, every last one of you can pump, for fuck's sake. Every last one of you got footwork and swipes and fucking hell, fuck off.
We just braked in a very aggressive way, and that really opened up their eyes.
After the Africa Centre thing in '95, then Champs was the next year, and the ball started rolling.
In '96, I put the BBoy Championships together based on having lots of breakers come down and listen to me DJ at the Funky Pussy Club in Covent Garden. We put out a flyer with a phone number, just basically saying if you want to enter the jam, phone this number, you know, because we didn't know any breakers. Well, I didn't know any breakers, certainly.
Basically, we said, look, you know, we've got this UK Champs thing coming up, man. You know, we've got to take this. You know what I mean? We've got to take this. You know, it's our it's our legacy. We deserve it.
You know, if there was a championships going on, then Second to None were going to be there. You know, had to be there.
We're all about tearing that floor up. The floor is our enemy. We'll do what it takes to destroy that floor, and anyone else gets in our path. And there'll just be rubble left when we're gone. Basically, we're stepping over the limbs, you know what I'm saying? And this bloke, he's like an expert in World War II, and you know what I mean? We're at war every time we dance. We're at war. We love it. We thrive off it. We are it. We are it.
When Second to None stepped in there, you felt like they were doing the Royal Tournament, you know? It was like they had these crew t-shirts tucked into their tracksuits, you know? And they looked like men, grown men, right? You know what I mean? And they just looked, like I said, like they looked like Marines.
Yeah.
Oh my God, these guys mean business, you know? And honestly, when they hit the floor, they were in a different league.
All I can remember is some of the just utter disaster they were putting on them, you know. Second to None were raining down some heavy duty shit. It's like a heavy duty braking unit coming to your doorstep, you know what I mean?
Everybody else was nowhere near that kind of thing, except for Evo and them in the solos. But as a crew, they were awesome, and obviously took the first title.
Our decision is for first and second. Actually, we'll give you second place. Freestyle Fanatics. First place. Second to none.
Second to none. Second to none.
I don't know, it was an okay sort of championship. I mean, it's blown up now, but who's to say? Everyone would have their own sort of speculation and opinion on it, you know.
We cruised through it really because we didn't really come up against anybody that I thought would really give us a go.
Personally, I thought the Evo's lot should have got in the final with us, but maybe it didn't look so good of two British crews, or British and Scottish, being in the final. So, but it was good. It was good fun.
We were pumped up for that first '96 champs. We wanted it. You know, we were like, this is our time. You know, we've done all this breaking when everybody else has taken the piss out of it and not been interested in the UK. This is our time. We took the first year, and we took the second year as well. We had this energy between us where we could just, I don't know, we could just unnerve people.
We just all got each other's back, and we would train all the time together, and then when we came to a battle, we just had that togetherness.
It made you more confident, that you knew that if you did a move and someone else come out and did a move that you couldn't do, then you'd usually have somebody else who could pretty much take care of that.
They came back the next 2 years. They won it in '97, and then in '98 they came with the ambition of a battling style elements. I think that's what everyone presumed was going to happen. But anyway, they battled for third and fourth against a German crew, but they were absolutely furious. And they said, well, you know, we don't want to battle the Germans. We came here to battle the US crew, and that's what we want to do. So we basically said, okay, cool. Battle for third and fourth, and then we'll organise another battle. You can battle style elements afterwards.
Okay. Everybody off the stage except style elements and second to none.
The UK wants to battle the USA. That's the deal. The UK wants to battle the USA. This is a motherfucking grudge match. They got something to prove, and I want to know if the USA is going to say yeah or no. You want to battle them? And we got a battle, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay. This is the way it's going down.
When we came to London, they came at us after we battled Spartanic, and it was like, damn, we just lost in the finals, and now we still got to battle them.
At the time, they were one of the best in the world, and we were defending champions at the time. So we actually we said we want to dance against the best, which was them at the time. So that's why we decided to call them out.
And Adam went out like true soldier like he is and just gave it, you know what I mean? No holding back, not intimidated by anyone, no fear, and represent.
We already looked at them the same way we kind of looked at Rocksteady. Do you know what I'm saying? High level and with respect. I like that they will preserve style, like, you know, getting to battle them or them stepping to us at the UK, that was an honor.
No one was talking. I like that because it's just getting down. Like, yeah, all right. I don't have nothing against you. I don't even know you. But what I do like is that you like to fly too. Now move back because I'm about to fly.
At the time, Ivan was very respected. I didn't know too much about Ivan, but I knew he was quite powerful. He's a bit like us. He's very, very creative, free flow.
I like about their battle mentality. I like that they will battle anybody. That one dude that they would send out all the time with the ball head. Adam, he was like their jab. You know what I mean? He would go out there and get everybody frustrated. It was so funny, man.
Legs jumped in first days, you know. It's crazy.
There's another fact that we didn't care about who we were battling as well. If you're going to go in circles with guys that are just amazing and stuff, it's not to give a fuck really and just do what you usually do.
We'd have had a chance against anyone, you know. I always think that. I don't care what skills you've got, we're going to have it, you know.
Yeah, I sort of targeted Ivan a bit because I thought I knew if I targeted Ivan and you know, gave a good show, that was might actually buckle a little bit, you know.
Ace was incredible in that. Just come out and just went in his, you know, he did a flip sideways, straight into footwork.
I was just like, yo, these guys are claiming their space and their territory, but I was never a battle guy anyway. No one could do what I do and I don't do what you do, even if we both do the same move, who cares? Let's just get down, man. Let's just get down. And let's get down. You know what I'm saying?
There was like old school style, top of the range, old school versus new school style elements, and you couldn't tell who won. It's that battle is also purely a matter of taste.
I went to the UK for the BBoy Championships, and we got to dance and share the cipher. And I was like, oh my God, it's you. I've seen you on video, and I'm so excited. I'm honored. I wanted to take a picture. I never got to get that picture, so you're the only one. I have a lot of respect for Second to None for holding their ground, and they maintain their strength and their presence. So I just want to say that I really think that's a testimony of how powerful hip-hop can be, and that they're brothers. They're my brothers, and that's important, and that's what we need more of.
Legs is my biggest inspiration. He's the person that got me started, so I've got so much respect for Legs. I say this to a lot of people said to me about that battle and what I did to Legs, and I did a nice, Legs did his thing and I did a nice set, but to say I beat Legs, to me, it doesn't make sense because he's my inspiration. So I just had a nice battle with him, and you can't take Legs out of what he does, you know, and just the same as you can't take me out of what I do.
When they battled us, they weren't even as good as they used to be. So, I mean, to me.
Yeah, of course, that was the late 90s.
They were already older. They were getting old, but like, hey, so he was still killing them in halos, like triple halos and shit to back bands.
Yeah.
I wish that we could have battled them in a real cypher or a real battle, because that was only so many rounds. It was like right after the finals, so I didn't think it was kind of fair.
Right.
So I was always kind of held that. We could have got them because they did good against us though, in that battle. That's why I was like, we could have done a lot better than them. I don't think they beat us, but I don't think we beat them either.
Right.
You know.
Just on the day, innit? It's like two good fighters, you know. One on paper might be brilliant, but it's on the day, you know. And on the day, it's that raw grit and determination, you know. And like in seconds, and I had that.
To me, I was just glad to be in the UK, you know. I was just, I'm like, I could go stretch out and show you what I really got down there on the floor. But in a battle, it's kind of like you're there, you're doing it, you're not really doing it. You're kind of doing it. You only have one round because there's 100 people that want to go down. It's not, you really don't do nothing. You don't see that much. And I'm sure that Second and None and those involved were same. Like, we got our stuff down, but we could do a lot more. But this is like just a little something. Man, that's what I'm saying.
I want everybody to get up off your seat and get your arms together and your hands together. And give me some of that old soul clap.
Things have changed. That rawness, I mean, it's changed. For better or for worse, I'm not going to make that call. Every era is the best, and this era is great. There's still originality happening. There's still people that do power powerfully. If you see the level of the kids these days, it's unmatched.
If you're from my generation, then I think so. You know, the 90s B-boys, those are the guys that we were looking at. They're sick with style. Put everything together really nice, you know what I mean? Like, footwork, nice and clean, just has that old 80s style, but really sick, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, sick.
The style that you did doesn't really exist today too much in the competition era that much.
Just seeing like the variations from low to high, for me it just blew my mind and it was crazy.
Your style needs to be seen because it's not around no more.
Then honestly, to see them guys out here today was crazy because they're still doing variations that nobody's doing. It's making me want to train harder, and like I feel old at times, and then when I see you guys, it's like, oh shit, I need to stop complaining.
It's like you guys planted a seed that you didn't know you planted, and you came back, and then it sprouted into something, and you guys are asking, where'd you guys get your style? Where'd you guys? And then we're like, you guys.
We have so much respect for the European B-Boys, Second and None, Battle Squad, Actual Force. These are all the people, at least, that I can say that I remember.
You can see where I look up to the whole just European style. That's like pretty much the blueprint of my power style.
Although breaking has gotten so much better in certain aspects it's gone down. Although there are a lot of good groups today, but you'll see the difference. But I mean, Second to None, definitely it's on, at least in my book, it's in my vocabulary.
Your contribution will live forever. I mean, it may sound extreme, but there's always a group of people that will carry your tradition whether you know it or not. Because it's impossible to do what y'all did and not inspire the globe.
The form and the style of head spin, it grabs you. One leg, boom,
the other leg, wrap you around. If it wasn't for seeing somebody put so much time and effort into pushing a move so far, I don't think I would have actually ever tried.
Dance to be free and dance to inspire, man. I think sharing what we have is one of the best things we can do.
I still hope that you guys keep showing to jams. You still never give up on dancing, you know, because there's a lot you can still give to the scene, you know. So never give up, just keep doing what you're doing because it's precious, you know.
How did Nate come about?
Nate's always been around Second Ton for a long time. He's in Second Ton Small Stars, he's in Madison's. I've known him for years. You know, later on he was in Born to Rock, obviously. Not that long ago, Darren Ace said, you should join Second Ton permanently. So, because he's always been there with us anyhow, so what's the point in not being in Second Ton?
Those beginning days, that's when the crew was born in 1985, that's when I met him. It's to me what breaking was all about. That was having fun with your friends and enjoying the music. That's when Tony asked me and Lawrence to become part of Second to None as a junior crew. That's when Second to None Small Stars was born. It was just heaven, it was just magic, it was just great fun. That's why we braked. That's how I got down with Second to None.
We really pushed it, and there was a whole new generation that were coming through, and I could see the potential in it, and I was like, that's cool.
Big shout out to Second to None, keeping it real, you already know. Word. So.
You ain't heard, you heard it now. Respect to Second to Nine and all the generation before me. Second to Nine represent.
You look back at all your experiences and you just say it's all great, you know. I mean, I went out to Europe a few times and it was great, yeah, but I'd say the whole thing on a whole, really. Yeah. I wouldn't put my finger on one thing. I really would, because you got from way back when it started, which was a golden era, and then you got the things we did after that, and to really say one thing is not capturing it.
You guys have inspired so many people. I mean, some of the best B-boys in the world. You know what I'm saying? Drop the name Second to None.
They were such inspiration in that way. We had to like them. We share great times together.
Everywhere in the world they know about Second to None. If they're really down with B-boy, it's just normal, you know. They will get their respect.
Without Second to None, man, without all this, the level of European B-boy, you know, right now, or even back in the days, the way it was known, they took it to a different level.
They actually proved and they were out there and really like, you know, bringing something to the table.
The name I don't forget. The name is that name is pedigree. I've heard that name for a long time, a very long time.
Music and b-boying, you know, that's me. There's nothing else. It's my heart, it's my whole being. That's why I'm here, you know. B-boy for life.
It's good at the time to see everyone developing as people, and as you know, as a crew, we developed together. So it was like, you know, all friends and all like family, but it was like we helped each other become who we are today. Yeah. You know, without us all together as individuals as well, helping each other, we wouldn't have been capable of what we can do today.
I think that Steve, rest in peace, I'm not saying it because he's dead, he was possibly the most influential person of Second to None pre, you know, like the world giving up. If it wasn't for Steve, Nick wouldn't be in second to none, I wouldn't be in second to none, Daryl wouldn't be in second to none, and basically I don't think there'd be a second to none like there is today.
Well, second to none has always kind of kept this underground bootleg attitude, and I think that's what keeps second to none being talked about today. There doesn't seem to be any glamour to it. It's not too managed. Like I say, it's a bootleg, guts night, underground sort of situation.
We owe a lot, especially in the UK, to second to none. I think that the UK needs to pay tribute and recognise what this crew have done, and hopefully this DVD will inspire old and new school UK b-boys and girls, and educate and really show the UK this is what this crew did.
We stuck with it through thick and thin, and hardly anyone else did.
Last more than some marriages, huh?
Yeah. Oh, much.
You know, some people
Yeah.
agree and some people won't, but that's the way it was.
Peace to everyone. Keep breaking, keep training, keep striving. You know, fuck age. Don't even think about that. You know, I've never took the notice of age, and you shouldn't either. If you start taking notice of age, that's when you slow up.
The hardest thing in breaking, in b-boying, is to be remembered. It's the hardest thing, is to be remembered. And second to none to this day are remembered, and I'm happy just with that. That's good enough for me, just to be remembered. You know, I don't want to get paid. I don't want to win any more competitions, you know. It's just about being remembered, and if you're remembered, you should count yourself very, very lucky.
Coming down to the question is asked, who and why and when, that's it. It's got to be second to none. You know what I'm saying? And that's their legacy. You're talking about a legacy. Second to none's legacy is we're all still here today and the world is still doing it.
What, second to none, yo? Damn. Niggas is serious. Mad respect. Thank you so much for what you gave to the culture.
Those individuals who kept it going and didn't stop, if they weren't b-boys, would probably be the most incredible mercenaries on earth. And I think these particular mercenaries in hip-hop just felt that there was something more to this than people realized, and that we're not going to stop, you know? And when these mercenaries met each other, they were like, we have a war to attend to. And it's not just going to be in a dance floor. Mercenaries are the first ones they call on for a mission, and the last ones they acknowledge when shit hits the fan. And that's what went down.
Stepping ahead of a wreck loose. Let's execute the chess move. Get dead, it's time to get loose. Let's spar, praise to the stars. Rhythm within the bar, that's a seminar. Like cinema, quite similar. Indeed, speed like centipede. So stamina, give stimuli. Flash images within your eye. Observe the hit, you learn from it. You notice the knowledge is permanent. Preeminent, prominent, ominous. To win it with discipline dominant. Doing the diligence, choosing a musical instrument. Using the views of a militant. With eloquence, but still intense. Standing still on elephants that move with grace and steadiness through jagged cliffs of amethyst. The planet is a capsule ship in outer space that travels in a path intended by the sun that rules the nine of jewels. A rhyme are genuine, I'ma send you home. Using the time continuum, making experiments based in the spirit of Native American Indians. Seeking intelligence, seeing a delicate system of cellular synthesis. The mental and temple defended, protected against the agenda of simpletons. search. Where will the men who remain with the civilization escape when they lose the earth? Using a vessel eventually add a velocity into infinity. Starting a colony deep in the galaxy must be the aim of astronomy. Crooked economy, killing ecology. Pillaging property to the appropriate party is profiting properly. Probably isn't the positive policy. Journey eternally into the chemical chasm of human anatomy. How do symmetrical spherical particles mesh and assemble a part of me? Notice the atoms' autonomy, physically mimicking that of the planets in gravity. Study your arteries, see similarities, bonding your body with botany. Bridges and tracks that carry trains, similar to capillaries, veins. Visible ripples and rivers that travel in waves, unraveling looks. Mapping amazing, the math is amazing, a massive and immaculate matrix. A station enabling civilization, aka the spaceship.